Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are having a good rest of your um, Saturday afternoon. I hope you guys are okay. My last video explained a lot of the things that are going on and the things that are happening right now at this time. So there's a frequency, there's an oscillation that I've been speaking to you guys about for a very long time now. It's all my videos. I took a look. I think I have about 210 or less videos out there. There's a lot of information in those videos, and you could take your time and review a lot of the things that are going on there. And I keep adding things, and you keep listening, and a lot of you are going to be understanding of the things that are going on at this time. It's important. It's good. It works out because you're sending out this energy that permeates people. So you're wondering what's going on. We're tapping into the high end, the low end of the fifth dimension. We're just barely getting to the low end of the fifth dimension. And it's like it's cracking out of an egg, right? It's breaking out of something. You're pushing and you're moving away. You're pushing and you're moving away. A lot of you guys that are watching this video are the leading edge of that movement, where you're dragging the others along behind. Those are stuck in the third and fourth and fifth dimension. As I said before, a lot of people are going into the fourth dimension. They're going to stay there. The fourth dimension, it's easy to get out of, but it's going to reminisce a lot of how the dark ages were. When you're thinking about dark ages, dark magic, dark people, white magic, curses, demons that are coming to come up in this energy frequency that you can either look and see, but not necessarily participate in it as much, and then you'll move away from that frequency. If something isn't in your scope of view or in your energy field, then it just doesn't exist. It's not there. I had a building ahead of me. If I don't visually see what's physically on the other side, even if I know, it literally doesn't exist. It's like a video game, right? Some video games are coded in a way where the frame of the section where you are in the map is what you can see. Everything else is there, but it doesn't load the data for you to be in that section unless you're actually there. That's a very rudimentary way of explaining it. I've seen people on YouTube that explain this in a more scientific, better way, that I resonate with them enough to understand that we're both expressing the same thing. I just don't have the kind of vocabulary to put it out there for the masses to understand. But there's people that I resonate with, and I'm thinking, okay, this person really just knows what they're talking about. I can understand a part of that knowledge that they're expressing for themselves, where I can say, okay, I know that is so true, right? And it's just the way it is. So us as a species are moving in that direction. A lot of people are going to just unfortunately stay behind. These are the things that I don't want to verbalize for anyone, because they're going to be left behind, in the sense that it's just going to take them longer to come around and make that connection to the fifth dimension, where we all will be waiting. So you're going to meet people and going to bump into them, and you're going to see they're resonating at a lower frequency, and you're going to see people that are high, that resonate at a high frequency. I've met people that resonate at a higher fifth dimensional frequency, and I'm not surprised or stunned. I feel a certain way about it, but I am stuck with people that are at low frequency, that are surrounding me most of the time. So that brings my frequency down in a lot of ways. As I said in my last video, when you used to tap into these higher frequencies, you would feel that the waistband of the contraction and were just not enough, and I would feel that I was brought down into a more stable then frequency, which really wasn't good. It was just not good at all. There were a lot of evil entities on this planet. A lot less now, and you can tell that there's been a difference. All the stuff that they're talking about the CERN, they turned off all these devices. That has something to do with it, but also that there's no spacecraft right now outside is also what I can tell for myself, that there's just not, that frequency isn't out there, and a lot of people are going to want that back, right? So if it's not that, then it's definitely that we're all kind of moving along in the same direction. You don't want to be left behind. You want to go forward in the frequencies, right? So when a person like me is walking around an area where it's just not, it's sickening to be around, then you're not going to be in the right place. But your mind can still be in a positive mood, right? And you can tell that the thought patterns and the things that you start to think about are inclining towards a negative frequency. For me, most of the time, that's what happens when I'm surrounded by negative energy, mostly by negative people at the time. But you don't have to resonate in that frequency. You can move yourself out of that in case you find yourself in a place that's not good for you, or you feel that you're confined in a certain way, right? You can tell by your environment. You can tell by your thoughts. The way you're thinking about things now have changed a lot. In a lot of ways, that it's a marker for yourself to know and realize that you're not in a good place, and that you should understand that you're not in a good place, right? So that you can do your find your happy place, find the place where you're at peace and you're calm and you're resonating, and then that makes you break out of that environment for you. Because if someone from a higher frequency is brought down to a lower frequency, then you can feed off of that person's fear. Someone's crying, or they're just completely lost and they don't understand why they're feeling this way. It's because they're not feeding off of that energy. That energy isn't available for them anymore, because they've been hanging out with someone, for example, that has a higher frequency, and they're trying to bring this person down. But when they don't have that for themselves, they've also pulled in some of that high frequency energy for them. So what happens is you try and bring down the frequency for someone to gain that kind of energy that you've had before, and it's not available to you anymore, because now you just want a higher frequency, a higher energy field from that, right? You can see someone on the street that's not in a good place, right? They're homeless. And you can think about it in two different ways. Oh, I'm glad that's not me. Or you can send positive energy and you can say to this person, I hope that his life gets better. Maybe I hope that he's doing the work that I'm doing one day. Even that kind of thought, just to put that out there, is enough. If I tell you something is enough or good enough, then, wanting more of that or trying to make it better than just the suggestion that I'm making, if you're not aware, isn't going to make it better. You should just take it with what I'm giving you at the time so that you can understand it. If you can expand on that for yourself and you know how to do that, welcome that energy to yourself, flow with that, and then build it for yourself. Don't look back at me and think that maybe how can I make it better. You may surpass myself in a lot of ways, and that's a good thing, because you are going to be a unique part of a whole. You're going to be that one water droplet on a vast ocean of people that are exactly like you, that you're going to resonate with every single individual like that. But you get to keep your individuality. And that's what most of these higher dimension races are about. You are all ants that are programmed or have an agenda where everybody's on the same page when it comes to certain things. That's why every single one of these aircraft up there, they left. They knew the time was right. You know when the time is right. And you will coordinate with other people as well. And the time is right, or the ideal of what is going on in that environment where you live, it's time to move on, right? So the answer, as I said it before, an example of that. And then some people are going to want the rewards. They're going to want to have that kind of energy for them to continue to the predictable patterns of that kind of frequency has to be maintained for them to feel that that's just their way of life. But there's a cropping up of different kinds of things going on, and we're doing that kind of work for ourselves internally as we see ourselves going forward. And then that's just going to manifest into a bright new beautiful world, as I said, that's just going to pop up and show up and manifest itself physically in a way that you know that it's going to be accepted. You're going to accept that and know that to be right and true, very different from the things that we have going on right now. So never mind future predictions or things that are going to happen. Don't bother with those situations where you see yourself as being demoralized or put down, because as long as they try to feed off of that energy for you, they're going to realize that that's not enough for them. Either you need to move on to a group of people that you can just take their energy away, or you're going to find yourself in a very depressing situation where you're not being constantly, either you can be in the fourth or fifth dimension, or you're going to be in you can be in both. You can go to both places, because at some point you're going to stay in one dimension, and that's the place where you're going to be. So you need to start thinking about making that kind of choice for those people that don't understand what's going on. And then just as a treat, then we'll get some of that great Pleiadian energy that we'll have every Christmas. That's why Christmases feel so good in that way, because it's the closest that we get to the Pleiades, and they're always sending their love. All the other stuff is really dark and bad stuff that I don't want to talk about certain situations, but it just so happens that they're higher dimensional beings on this planet. There's more than one. There's plenty of them. There's stuff that you don't want to know about, because it either get you really hyped and excited and you'd want to dominate and control the situation, or you'll just feel depressed and think, oh no, well, I wish we didn't do this, and we need to find a way to cap this and to make it all go away, and then just kind of set it aside and we can move on with our lives. Because you can't peek behind the curtain and then put the curtain back on and just think to yourself that you just didn't see what was back there, because then that's going to get you into a lot of trouble, and that's not really what I want for you right now. So some are going to push you in that direction just to see what happens when someone does that kind of stuff, and then they just won't be able to tell anyone about it afterwards, because it's not going to turn out the way that they want to. It's a really dark and ugly place when you go back there, and that you don't want to be a curious cat. All right, you don't want to be that curious cat that happens to want to see what's going on, because it's not going to be nice. So let's think positive. Let's avoid the darkness. Let's not pressure anyone to see if they can get anything out of it, because then it's just going to be really bad. And I don't want the bad. You don't want to bring out the evil out of anyone. You want their best. You want to root for them, so that we're not going to be a one size fits all for anyone. There are going to be levels and classes of people everywhere. A hierarchy, even in your home, within your siblings, families, friends, that mom and dad is a hierarchy. And there's a hierarchy in your community, and there's a hierarchy in your state, and there's a hierarchy in your country. So find your place. You, and where am I in the world, and who am I in the world is what matters. And then you'll be able to find and adapt and make a network of people that you can connect with, that you know that at your level they resonate, right? If you want to talk to the president, you write him a letter and he'll probably read it, right? So there's a way to reach out, right? You need to show your concern, because there's too many potholes on the road. there's a way to communicate and get that out so that your voice is heard among the many, and your concern for your community and your environment and for yourself is also taken care of in that way. So be mindful that you're not alone in the world, and I think that's very important. What do I think is, I do these in parking lots, but this is just where I feel comfortable. Be mindful that there's, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to say, or what do I want to talk about? Or what do I think matters in the world right now? There's a lot of waiting before good things begin to happen for everybody, and I'm just excited for it because it's just gonna tip over, and it's just gonna roll down the hill, and that little pebbles, the little rock that you see everywhere, it's gonna turn into this massive snowball. It's gonna roll down the hill fast, and there ain't gonna be any way to stop it. So a lot of people are thinking, how do we stop it? How do we manage what the destruction of the snowball is going to come down on forest trees, or an avalanche, or I don't know. It's going to be massive. It's going to be great. It's going to be where you're just going to sit and watch the TV on the news, because the rolling, they won't be able to just, you won't want to go to work. You just want to watch TV all day, because every couple of days, every week or so, you're just going to see something new, and it's like, whoa. And then next week after that, it's just, the batches of information that are going to come out are going to be, effing amazing. It's going to be great. I'm very excited for that. And obviously there's going to be the opposite end of that kind of frequency too, but it's not going to be paid attention as much. It's going to feed the group of people that need to have that information fed to them, because then everything else is just going to be side blinders, where you're just not going to care. You're going to just care about what the negatives, if those are the negative things that you're in focus on, and that's how just you're wired to within the spectrum of your life, and how you've lived your existence, of what you want to focus your mind to. And then there's the positive, where you are going to focus on that, and then that's what's going to be your focus and view of things. So there is no negative and positive. What's negative to me is positive to you. So that's not going to matter. What's going to matter is just how the perception is felt, and how you're going to be excited and happy about the things that you hear about. So never mind anything else. Be mindful of yourself and your existence, because you're at the driver's seat of something that's going to be amazing for you, and it's just right around the corner. You're going to bump into this special person right around the corner. And for years, I've known about that. And I wondered, how long were you just going to have this, latching on to this little piece of information, until what really was going to happen at the end? How were you going to resolve this? How long were you going to hang on to something like that, where you just meet someone somewhere right here? How was that going to be, in what way was that going to be beneficial for anyone to know that kind of information, to present it in a way that it's going to be beneficial for you than harmful for me? It boggles my mind how long and how many years this has been going on for that purpose, and you've let that out. I've seen it. So I just really curious about how you're going to go through about all this, since a lot of people know of the circumstances and the things that you're finally talking about and saying. So I wish you the best of luck with what's going to happen in the future. Focus on yourself, and when the news cycles start coming out, enjoy it. It's going to be meant for you. Some things are not, and other things will resonate with you, and I think that's what's important right now. So guys, thank you for sharing 20 minutes with me of information. I'm very happy of the things that are coming out, And I wish you the best and good luck with everything.